If you're staring at a broken promise, we've all been there, or a door slammed in your face, a job you wanted so badly, it did not come to fruition. I want to tell you that disappointment isn't the end of the road. It's just really a redirection, right? It really, really is. Hear me. If you're tired of carrying a weight of disappointment and you want to breathe again, I want you to really keep listening to this, okay? We're finding our peace once and for all today. And we're going to let go of that disappointment. I'm going to help you through this. Let's be honest, life hasn't exactly gone the way, the brochure, if there is a brochure, that we thought that it was going to go, right? A person let us down. A dream didn't come through, as I said before. And you're just disappointed and you're feeling the sting of the disappointment. You cannot get past this place. You're just stuck. It's one thing having a bad day. It's another one if you feel like all hope is gone and you cannot breathe. If you're tired, just really tired of putting on a brave face while your heart feels really heavy and it feels like it's just under a pile of disappointment, I want you to really keep listening. I'm Jessie, and this is truly your safe place. We're all about joy and living in truth and living in spiritual strength and having the courage to just be exactly who you are, who I am. I'm authentically Jessie. You're authentically fill in the blank because you're safe here, okay? If you're feeling like a passenger in your own life, especially one who's been really let down today when you're seeing this, you are really in the right place. I want to help you get your joy back today. That's so critical living in this world. You know, let's get right into it. As we move into 2026, I know many of you are walking with a heavy, heavy heart, a lot of expectations that you had set, a lot of promises that have been made, and they have not followed through from politics, as I said before, maybe to a partner, husband, wife, a child that lets you down unexpectedly, right? And you're disappointed in an action that they've done. It could be a series of things. You know that you're stuck and you're let down. Here's some pointers. When you're replaying the conversation like a movie, it's just looping through. You just keep thinking, man, I can't believe. And the whole scenario of how it went down is just replaying in your head, right? Two, bitterness is starting to feel more like peace. Bitterness is not supposed to feel like peace. Bitterness means that you are really disappointed and you are holding this thing in your heart and you have got to let it go. You've got to let that disappointment go. Thirdly, you stop expecting good things because you're protecting your heart. That is no way to live. You've got to always be expecting good, letting go of that which disappointed you, finding a way and knowing how to let that disappointment go so you can get your joy back, so you can breathe again. If you are walking through a season of disappointment right now and you're ready to trade that heaviness for a state of expectation and peace, I want you to hit subscribe right now before we get started. And I want to help you walk through this journey to find some answers so you can live again, so you can breathe again, so you can forgive that person, so you can forgive yourself if you disappointed yourself. We're human. We're in this avatar, and we are going to make mistakes. Remember, we're part spirit and we're part flesh. And there's a warfare going on here, not just with us, but with humanity. Each person's going through this, right? So let's talk about this. I want to step beyond the disappointment that you're feeling right now. Forgiveness isn't a gift you give a person who lets you down. It's a gift that frees you up. If you're still holding bitterness against someone, forgiveness against someone, that person's probably going on with their life and not thinking about it, right? But you're still holding yourself in a prison of unforgiveness. That is not good. Ephesians 4, chapter 4, 32. And you know, I always deal with the book of life because this is how you're going to get unstuck. Everything that you need are in these pages. It's just a matter of knowing where to find it, how to meditate on it until you can pray your way out of it and get to the next chapter. Ephesians 4:32 calls us to be kind. It calls us to be compassionate. I'm talking about us. I'm not talking about the other person. It starts with you first. Forgiving just as we've been forgiven. When you hold on to that debt, you stay tied to that pain. Okay, I'm going to break it down for you quite clearly. I don't know if you know JC or not. That's Jesus Christ. That's who I refer to him as. He is my best friend, and he's the one that saved me from myself. He died on the cross for humanity, for all of our sins. Why did he do that? Why did he forgive us? And we fell short, and we constantly fall short. That's because of the agape love. It's a love that's not earthbound, and that's what we're trying to move into with humanity. We've got to, in order to free ourselves up and to live our purpose and to have that joy and that peace and all those things that we desire. Because if we don't, we are going to live, as my sister would say, in a pain body. Our body is going to be wrecked with disappointments, with expectations, and we set our expectations too high because people are just flesh. Spirit, flesh, and the spirit is contained in this flesh, but remember, we've got both. We're not all spirit right now, so we're going to miss it. Here's an action step you can take, all right? Write a letter of release. I want you to take a sheet of paper and I want you to write a letter of release. What this means, detail the promise and the pain in this letter of release. You're going to release this person, whoever it is. I don't know if it's a politician. I don't know if it's a mom. I don't know if it's a dad. I don't know if it's a coworker. I don't know if it's a child. I don't know if it's a husband. It could just be a mere stranger that cut you off on the road. But you're going to write a letter of release and you're going to detail the promise and the pain. Then write, this is what I want you to write. I release you from the debt of this promise. That's powerful. You're doing this for yourself, remember. So you can go on and live your life and not sacrifice your joy because other people are not cutting the mustard. It's going to happen. Release you from the debt of this promise. Get your phone, get a sheet of paper, do it right now. I'm not moving beyond this because this is impactful. Your words create your world. When you write down, it says in the book of life, Jesus Christ, JC says, write the vision down. If you're wanting this to happen and you're wanting to be released from this, writing this down could be the most powerful thing. And I would even go a step beyond that. I would say take a piece of paper and write a letter to that individual. What would you say to that person? I want you to get it all out. Even if you start crying, even if you get angry, this is one way to just release and let go of this thing. All right. You don't even have to send it to the person. Just write it. What you can do though is after you finish it, I want you to take a candle. I want you to light the candle. I want it to be in a safe area where you have something under the candle. I want you to burn the letter. And by burning that letter, that means that you are forgiving that person and say, I forgive you. All right. So the letter of release is, I release you from the debt of this promise. I am no longer waiting for you to make this right because God is my source. Man can't be your source because they're going to let you down every solitary time. Eventually, it's going to happen before you leave up out of here. Just don't send it. You're just letting the weight go. All right. Step 2 that you can do is healing isn't a race. Joy isn't about faking it. You know, in Ecclesiastes 3, it really reminds us that there's a season for everything, and you need space to process the why. Why did this happen? You can't stay stuck in the anger and just be mad and just be disappointed and just have this cloud over you 24/7. You got to process this thing. You got to work through this thing. That's why we said in the first step to write a letter of release. The second step is there's a season for all things. This is your action step. Set a grief window. Pretty cool, huh? Give yourself 15 minutes a day to pour it all out to God, to JC. Just look in a window, a grief window. I don't know what window you want to be. You can even be on the porch, right? And the frustration, the tears, all of it, I just want you to pour it out. Just release it. Just let it go. Just let it go. Because what you're doing is you're clogged up because you're so mad, you're so disappointed. You don't want to talk to the person. You don't want to answer the telephone. You dodge them when you see them. You hardly say anything to them. That is not being God-like. That's not being Christ-like. That's not being kind. That's not being loving. How are you going to get all those things in your life if you're giving out the opposite? What you're going to end up doing is you're going to end up giving out how you're feeling. And that does not edify you. It does not edify the other person either. After you do this, I want you to wash your face and I want you to stand tall and focus on one thing you can control. What's one thing you can control? You can control yourself. You can't control anybody else, right? Don't let moments of disappointment leak into your whole existence throughout eternity. You got to learn to let this stuff go, guys. You cannot hold on to disappointment. It will happen, but this too shall pass. This is just a season. It's not your destiny. Okay, step 3. Expect goodness every morning. I want you to wake up just consciously, as soon as your eyes ping open and God has blessed you to see another day, JC has, right? I don't want the loop to start about what happened. Nope, we're stopping that. No looping. As soon as that starts, I want you to say, I'm taking every thought captive. Say that. I'm taking every thought captive. I'm taking every thought captive. And I want you to start creating your world. Creating your world. Disappointment tries to tell you your future is canceled, and that's just not true. It just isn't true. Or you want to cancel that person out. They may not be, my life coach would tell me, Jess, you got different circles in your life. You got those that are really close to you, right? That you trust, that you know will be there for you. You'll be there for them. Then you have other circles, right? You got acquaintances. You got friends. You've got sisters or brothers. They might not even be blood related, but they're sometimes those are the best ones than the ones that you are actually related to blood wise, right? You've got different circles. You've got to know where to put them. People go in different pegs here. Everybody is not in your inner circle, so you have to figure that out. And even when it comes to that disappointment, it does not mean that they are just canceled totally out of your life. Not necessarily. Sometimes, yes. It's best to just part ways. Other times, no. So I want you to start an action step. But first, let me tell you this. I was saying disappointment tries to tell you your future is canceled, right? Or that person's canceled out. That's a lie. I want you to look in Lamentations, right? I hardly ever look into this book, but I want you to look into Lamentations. It's in the book of life, right? Chapter 3, you can put it on Google. All you have to say is Lamentations 3, which is chapter 3, 22 through 23. It says, His mercies are new every single morning. We get new mercies every freaking day. What is mercies? Just grace to carry on from yesterday to today. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. So you have a brand new day to do something brand new, to think brand new, to forgive someone, to cast that disappointment aside and just see it from a different frame, put it in a completely different frame than it was in on yesterday. Say, I am going to, right? Create a joy list is what I'd say. That is what I would say. Create a joy list. Write down 3 things you are looking forward to this week, right? What are 3 things you're looking forward to this week, right? A coffee date, a walk with your dogs, right? I love that. Hiking, a new project. Remind yourself that the best chapters haven't been read yet. You still have other chapters to live out. Don't get stuck on this one page because, of a disappointment. I've had disappointments in my music so much, but I've also had so many successes. I've had disappointment in people, but I have been able to go to that person and say, look, I missed the mark. I'm the first one to say it. I missed the mark, right? And I want to apologize for this, for this, for this. Now, whether they accept that apology, that's on them. You've done the right thing by going and extending yourself and apologizing. It's on them. You washed your hands of it. Walk in love and move on. It's their, they have to process all this stuff, but you're doing the right thing by releasing, letting it go, and letting God. Make the joy list, is what we said, right? What are some expectations that you're looking forward to this week? I want you to write them down. I'm going to do that myself. I also want you to write a letter of release. You're going to let these people go. You're going to let that disappointment go. And you're going to write down, I release you from the debt of this promise. I no longer am waiting for you to make this right because God has already made it right. I'm going to take the controls back. I'm going to make it right by doing the godly thing, by doing the right thing. Sometimes the right thing can be really hard to do. That's how you strengthen your muscles. That's how the next time you're confronted with this thing, you'll be stronger, you'll be wiser. That's the key, Lady Wisdom. You want to walk in wisdom. You don't want to walk in anger. You don't want to walk in unforgiveness. You don't want to continually have this cloud of disappointment over your head. If you didn't get that job, say, well, God's got something else for me. JC has something else for me. This was not meant for me. Or it could be anything. Forgive that child. That child is still learning. That child is still growing. Stop being angry, right? Have a conversation so you can move beyond this and this child can grow. Remember, you were a child once too. We did crazy things. That husband that went wayward, that wife didn't got an argument, you might be disappointed. Don't let it linger. Go ahead and forgive. Forgive, and move on. The only way you're going to move on is when you apologize, if you have to apologize, or you just walk in love and there's not an apology necessary. It's just that person's human and missed it, right? Now, I'm being a little bit cavalier about this. I don't know what the situation is, but you get where I'm coming from with this thing, right? Prayer is how, that's the main thing here, guys. Prayer is how we align our hearts with heaven. We got to go this way, earth to heaven. Philippians 4, book 4, chapter 3 and 7 tells us to trade our anxieties for prayer and petition. It's where we get our sound mind back, is through prayer. Through prayer and meditation. Prayer is key in my life. And Sometimes I get on my knees and pray, and sometimes I'm walking around dashing and I'm just praying all day. And I'm in the car dashing, and I don't have music on, I don't have the news on, I have nothing on, and it's just me and JC, and I'm just meditating in his presence. That's key. Here's an action step. Spend 5 minutes in total silence, just like I did. I do it for 6 hours, right? I love the silence. I have no problem sitting in total stillness. That's my favorite place, because that's when you can get in alignment and you can hear and you can find peace, and you don't have the noise of the world filtering in to your ear and into your heart. So I want you to take 5 minutes or more in total silence. Turn the TV off, turn the phone off. Do it if you got children, do it at night when they're asleep. Find a way to go get to the bathroom and just sit in stillness for 5 minutes. If you're at a job, go for a walk. Ask the Holy Spirit, HS. Ask the Holy Spirit to show you the truth about the situation. Not the hurt, but the truth. When you talk to him, your perspective shifts, because he's going to show you a flip side of it. It shifts from why me to what's next. That means you're moving past it. You're moving through it to the other side. That's what we want. We don't want to just skip it and go over. That's like putting stuff under the bed and you keep tucking stuff away and you don't deal with it. We want to deal with things here so you can find really exceptional joy, peace, soundness of mind, all those things. You can't tuck things away. You can't tuck that disappointment away. You've got to walk through it to the other side, and you'll be the better for it. Before I go, I want you to hear this. You have to allow yourself to mourn disappointment. You can't skip the middle, as I said before, to get to the other side. You have to move from the shock into the mourning of what you thought would happen. Only then do you step into truth and you shake off that untruth, or that cloud moves, and you can walk in unspeakable joy. That's what we want for you, is joy unspeakable and full of glory. Say that. I have joy unspeakable, full of glory, whether you feel it or not. Out of the mouth flows the issues of life, right? And we've got to speak things into existence. Joy unspeakable and full of glory. Now, if this has helped you, I want you to subscribe, all right? I want you to take time to subscribe. I also want you to take time to write a comment. Any comment, just to let me know that this spoke to your heart and that you're going to move past this disappointment into an expectation of getting to the other side so you can go on with your destiny and go on with your life and release yourself, forgive that person or that situation, and find a newness of life for your next day. Your journey is vast and your journey is wide. There's so many videos here at Authentically Jessie that can really help you through this journey called life, where you can have a lot of joy, where you can have a lot of peace, and where you can just enjoy while you're in this avatar and this time that you've been given to live on this beautiful planet with such beautiful purpose that you have, okay? And remember, there is love here for you.